What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So in today's video, we're doing a gold farm again, but in fact, we're looking at 3 different locations for a bunch of different items, all in this one video. But firstly, big thank you to everyone that has signed up to the VIP Discord lately. The support has been massive with that, together with the 0 to 10 million gold guide. So big thank you, and if you haven't looked into it yet, they're both going to be linked down below in the description. But the main thing about today's video is going to be all about these items in the garrison, like the auction house parts, because if you were unaware, a lot of people have auction house in their garrison. It's nice because it doesn't lag that much, so posting is faster, and it's just super convenient to have, and there's also achievements involved. So in order to build the auction house, you need the arcane crystal module, the auction control module, the super cooling module, and then lastly the cyclical power module. Now, you used to also need the universal language module, but that was from Ashran and it was removed in patch 8.0. So in order to get these items to drop, well, in order to get these modules, you need to get a bunch of items, combine the items into the module. So a lot of people just can't be arsed to do this, so they would rather just purchase them from the auction house. Now, if you want these items to drop, the only thing you gotta do is get the trading post level 2 in your garrison. As soon as you have that, these items will drop from mobs in the specific zone. So if you want to get the items needed for the this one, you need to kill mobs in either Frostfire, Gorgrond, or Spires of Arak. And then the super cooling module, you need to kill mobs in Shadowmoon, Talador, or Nagran. And then there's one that you can only obtain like these parts in dungeons, and this one only in invasions and raids. Now, we're going to go through some of the locations for these, the ones that I prefer to do. And all of this can be done solo, right? Some of the farms is going to be better to be in a group, but it's easily done solo. And the great thing about this is the fact that, like, not only are you getting the auction house parts, but you're also getting transmog items, and some of them are extremely good on top of getting these. So I like to say that these are like the steady gold, and then anything that you make from transmog is obviously going to be big RNG, because you might not get the transmog items, but you're going to be guaranteed to get these because the drop chance is not that bad. So the first one, in order to get the cyclical power module parts, you should head over to Spires of Arak, and right here underneath the Howling Crag in Spires of Arak, you guys can do this farm right here. So as you can see, I'm running around on my druid. It's a level 61 speed set druid. The mobs, they get one hit, and they respawn extremely fast. Like, I can't even kill the mobs fast enough. That's how insane the spawn rate is. So naturally, if you do this in a 5-man group, it's going to be better, right? But they spawn so fast and the density is so good that doing it solo is really no biggie. You don't need to do it in a 5-man group, because I know that a lot of you guys, well, I'm not sure if struggling is the right word, but you're not really comfortable finding a 5-man team. Maybe you struggle to put together enough people in order to do the 5-mans. So just know that this can be done easily solo. I've even done it solo myself when I was like out of the auction house parts and I wasn't live streaming. So I just figured I would go and grab a couple of them fast. Now, the next location for the next part is in Talador. And this spot right up here, Blade Fury's Command, this spot is also insane. Now, keep in mind, the previous spot that I showed you guys does not drop any epic transmog, right? That's going to be very different from the other farms that you guys will be looking at, because they originally, back in WoD, didn't have epics on their loot table, and now they still don't. However, though, the green items and the blue items are different from Blade Fury's Command that you guys are watching right now, and they're just, in general, better, right? The green items and the blue items, because For instance, the green items, they don't typically drop in the most farmed dungeons and raids that people do in WoD. So it's an absolute insane farm to do for greens and blue transmog items. And a lot of the items have a unique appearance. Now, this location right here in Talador, Blade Fury's Command, is really good. Once again, density is nice. Respawn rate, absolutely insane. They drop different auction house parts than the previous spots because it's a different zone. And also, they can drop epics. So you can get some really big epics from this location. We're talking some of the biggest one being obviously Blackrock Bulwark, right? It's not uncommon to get anywhere from 500 to 1 million gold for this shield. And then we have Sheila's belt. Let's see if we can find it. It's quite expensive. There we go, like 400,000 gold belt. I have one of these bad boys on the auction house myself. And then, of course, there's going to be some blue items of interest at that spot. Not that many greens, though. They tend to share a lot of appearances. Now, in terms of dungeons, I like to do Iron Docks up in Gorgrond. And then you can get the auction house parts that you need in order to get this one right here, the auction control module. Iron Docks is just a very smooth dungeon to run because there's a lot of density. The dungeon is relatively short, so you don't even need a speed set in order to do 10 runs in an hour. The mobs are good. They're dropping really good blue items, like really good blue items. A lot of them have a unique appearance and selling for hundreds of thousands of gold. Also, keep in mind that the gray items, some of the gray items from all of these farms are really decent. They're not typically uniques. However, a lot of them only share appearance with other gray items, which makes them really good. So Iron Docks, absolute banger dungeon to do in terms of gold farming. Also, of course, you can get the same epics from Iron Docks as you can from the Howling Crag, the location we just looked at, like the Blackrock and the Sheila and so on. In fact, I've done a ton of times Iron Docks 100 runs and made a YouTube video on it, uploaded to this channel, and it's always been treating me very well. But of course, it's RNG. But what isn't big RNG is the auction house parts, because the drop chance, as I've said before, are really damn decent, so you're bound to get the auction house parts regardless. Now, in terms of getting the last one needed that could only drop from invasions and raids, I don't typically do that one that often, not because, well, it's usually expensive on the auction house, don't get me wrong, it's usually very expensive, but there is a decent amount of people doing the raids in order to get the mounts that they are missing. However, if you do something like Hellfire Citadel, which is my favorite, that's an excellent raid to go and get those auction house parts, because Hellfire Citadel has some really insane epic transmog, like trash BOE items that can only drop from Hellfire Citadel. I just don't really like any WoD raids, like, at all. And I'm not in a position where I need gold. I have plenty of gold. I just think it's fun to gold farm. So sometimes I struggle to get myself to do the farms that I don't really feel like doing, because I know that I don't really need the gold, right? I just gold farm for fun. But Hellfire Citadel is a really good choice if you don't mind doing it. And a lot of these items, in terms of prices, they're not on the regional auction house, right? So the prices will vary. But as you guys can see right here, the Arcane Crystal module is going for 100,000 gold. So it is by far the most expensive one. So I should definitely farm it. And then you have the Super Cooling module, which is the one from the Talador Orcs, which is sitting at 16k. Then you have the Auction Control module from, well, Iron Docks at 12.8. And then the cyclical power module, which is from like the Spires of Arak, Howling Crag location at 8k. And then this one doesn't have any use. You don't need it to make the auction house anymore, as you guys could see on the Wowhead post. And for the people asking if they sold, they definitely do. I just recently came back to farming them. As you can see, it's been 81 days since I sold one because, well, I haven't had any. but I sold 35 of them in a very short amount of time, for as low as 5k, but as high as 23k. And before I started making many YouTube videos on these, over a year ago, I was selling these for as high as like 50, 60,000 gold each. And they were doing extremely good. So as you can see in this one, they sell really well. And they're probably going to be higher priced on your realm than they will be on my realm, because I play on a full pop realm together with a bunch of my viewers playing on the same realm as me. And they're farming all the same shit as me. With that being said, that was pretty much it for today's video. So if you guys haven't done that already, please get the trading post level 2 and get farming, specifically because there's not a lot of people farming WoD the transmog compared to like classic transmog, like the Glorious and Jade and Bloodlust and all of those OG transmogs. They're still decent. However, everyone is doing it, and everyone is doing like the old dungeons like Uldaman and RFD and so on. So it's nice to go into an expansion where there's not a lot of people farming the transmogs. With that being said, that was pretty much it for today's video. So as I said, make sure to check out the VIP Discord where you guys can watch all of these YouTube videos before anyone else. And there's also a bunch of exclusive stuff that only the people in the VIP Discord can see, like future investments and much more. And if you don't have the 0 to 10 million gold guide, make sure that you use the discount code Dragonflight and you'll get it for 50% off. And just know that whenever you get this gold guide, you will receive a lifetime of updates for free, right? So whenever there's a new patch or a new expansion, I'm going to update the gold guide and you guys get the latest version sent directly to your mail. With that being said though, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all back in at the next video. But until then, bye bye.